Hello, welcome to Patched. I'm your host, Paul James. Today I'm joined by Matto Phillips. How's things, mate?
It's a big sound.
Oh, fuck off. We're recording this fresh off the back of a Geelong loss to the made-up AFL team that I actually quite like. But anyway.
I think everyone does, unless you have to play it.
Everyone and no one. I've seen a lot, admittedly, I've seen a lot of sentiments in my footy, like my Hoops Crew Discord that have suggested otherwise. But I think people are feeling a bit bitter right now. Made up AFL clubs, worst social media team, all that sort of stuff. But I suspect they'll come around soon enough. All right, let's talk video games. We've got two games that we're going to discuss this week. We're kind of chock-a-block full of announcements. These are probably the two biggest. We'll start with Gears of War Reloaded, because this is, I guess, a pretty significant one when it comes to, I guess, the old console wars. Not that there's much of that going on anymore, at least between Xbox and everyone else. Gears is coming to PlayStation, it's coming to PC, it's coming to Xbox. It may well even come to Switch 2 in the future, we don't know. What'd you make of... Well, there's no trailer yet, but I guess the Xbox Wire post, there's a few screenshots kicking about as a result. What do you think about, Gears coming back again? Well, and the fact that also the Ultimate Edition, what they called the Ultimate Edition back on the Xbox One, is no longer the Ultimate Edition, so that game is a lie.
It's not Ultimate. Yeah. No more.
It was 1920 by 1080 and 30 FPS. Now it's double that resolution and 60. So
wow,
no longer Ultimate. They've got to stop lying. Xbox.
Well, that was a lie. That was a lie to start off with. Wasn't even Ultimate to start off with
at the time.
Defined, yes, but not Ultimate.
But yeah, what do you think about the fact that Gears is? It seemed inevitable, but going multiplat.
Well, it was one of the questions where I said, would it go to PlayStation or not? I thought, no, that's just silly. I was wrong. But to start off with, I just thought, for some reason, I thought, is this an April Fool's joke? Then I realised we're in May. I know Xbox is really bad with timing and all that, so it could have been an April Fool's joke. But it's not. I just scratched my head and gone, I'm confused. It's just the PlayStation post going, Gears of War Reloaded come in, was it August or something?
August 26th.
And I was just scratching my head going, I don't know what to feel about this, because my first Xbox exclusive game was Gears of War, because
Me too.
I purchased my first Xbox was the 360, not the original brick house of a massive unit known as the Xbox original naming. And also too, this thing called the console wars that people keep talking about, that died in the early 2000s. I don't care what you can say, you can still talk about the glory times, this and that. When games started going all third party, that is when the console wars ended and Sega died. It was over. Sega
you're going that far back, yeah, okay. I feel like that war died and then just another one started. It was almost like this was like the whole Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo thing was just kind of World War II, right? Of the video game.
Nintendo just didn't care. It's like, you two just fight. We'll play Pokemon for the 40th time and not.
And no one's
care. While you just make fun of yourselves and look like dickheads. While Nintendo, just do what they do and go, hey, look at our new console. It's a mouse. And it was like, oh my god, that's amazing. Because
I tried that on the weekend.
Oh, yeah, you did too.
It's pretty cool. So.
And then there's this guy called Chris, some gaming expert.
Chris Mutton.
Who doesn't play too. Yes. I thought, hey, I know that guy. He's just
and it's not Chris. Expert. Yeah, and it's certainly not his name. Did you see like the Channel 7 bit? Is that what you're referring to? And they called him Chris Mutton, not Chris Button. Sorry, mate. That was really unfortunate for you.
Let's say, has anyone made a T-shirt of him yet? Of Chris Mutton, gaming expert. Your one time to shine, and they fucked it.
And they fucked it up.
Typical Channel 7 to do that. It's just something they know absolutely nothing about, and clearly don't know people's names by the looks of it. Wouldn't that be the first thing you do? Is just like write down their actual names, go Mutton. It's like, yeah, close enough. They're not gonna know. Well, he is. He's looking at going, what's this shit?
Well, I bumped into him maybe an hour or so after. He goes, I've been interviewed for Channel 7. He looked pretty chuffed with the opportunity to get a bit of TV time. What little he knew was coming his way at that time. I guess what little we all knew at that point. But Oh, yeah, it's kind of funny. Sorry, mate. Sorry it had to happen to you. You're a good bloke doing God's work in this industry.
Unlike big companies going, no, we don't need you.
No.
That's lies.
And yeah,
Asshole.
that's kind of I guess the segue back into it is that Xbox doesn't necessarily want or feel like it needs its Xbox audience anymore. It needs more. It needs more. So they're adding PlayStation. Obviously, I'm pretty sure the Ultimate Edition came to PC before. The original Gears definitely came to PC back in the day. Eventually, I think it was one of those ones that was kind of 12 months after. But this is kind of a big deal. What do you make of some of the screenshots that you've seen? And I think the way they
I'm
the
trying
way
to think
they
if I
kind of
did see
show it on the.
screenshots or not.
Oh, you haven't?
I don't.
I'll shoot you a message that's got the link to the article.
Does it have
the
a,
Xbox One?
Does it have a pixelated door?
Not that I saw, but
Not
we'll see
interested.
how that goes. So I'm just shooting you a link now to have a bit of a look. But
Right.
one of the things that makes it a little bit tricky is they've kind of superimposed. I don't know, like
Kratos' head.
the Gears of War into a larger screenshot of the Gears of War Ultimate, which is then in a larger screenshot of the Reloaded. So it's a little bit hard to compare everything side by side.
So they've done the old PlayStation trick of 4K in HD. That's
Well, like I
Hey,
can see
compare this with this.
a really clear difference between the scene they show, which is right at the very beginning of the game, or like the first screenshot, sorry, that I'm looking at.
Oh,
It
right.
shows the very
That's
beginning of
just
the game as you're breaking out of
That's
prison as
just
Marcus.
confusing.
And like there's clear differences in terms of they've added to the environment, but I can't remember if that was a part of the Ultimate Edition, and that's the screenshot that's kind of most obscured of the three.
Oh,
So
look at that fire. No fire in the first one. I mean, it is a bit silly though. Why can't you just do like a normal thing of just a slideshow of this, and this instead of putting three in the same one? I mean, I've got good enough eye vision as it is, and that's hard enough to look at. And just I have to squint my eyes
it just would
to
have
try
like
and compare it.
a side by side would have made all the difference. But like there's only two kind of screenshots or two images they kind of share in the actual official
Look
post
at that
anyway.
water.
And the water looks great, but then the Ultimate Edition screenshot is so obscured. You're like, I can't tell if that's how it looked. I can't remember if that's how it looked before or not.
Well, but the problem with the
It's
Ultimate
clearly way
Edition
better
is I
than the
can't.
original. Like, there's no doubting that. Way better than the original, but
The Ultimate Edition one, they put the original one over the water, so I can't compare the water in
yeah.
the Ultimate Edition, which is a bit silly.
Like, you're trying to make a point about how much... It's such a typical Xbox thing. You're trying to make a point about how much better this is, and then you fail to do so.
They have not learned.
In the simplest of ways, they've failed to do so. So anyway, good stuff, Xbox. That said, I'm really excited for this. Like, as someone who and a bit like you, loves Gears, I'm really looking forward to the opportunity to play Gears 1 and then presumably some of the others down the line on PlayStation. Are you a bit surprised by the fact that it's just the original, that we're not getting, because they've already done the Ultimate Edition in the past, that we're not just going Master Chief Collection style and at least doing maybe 1, 2, and 3?
I think that, but then you got to see the question: will it sell on the PS5? That is probably the thing we have to look at, because you can give it to Xbox people, they'll play it on Games Pass because it's on Games Pass. But the question is, will it sell? And if it doesn't sell on PS5, then there's pretty much no point of, remaking the good ones, the really good, two especially, the really good one. We've had this discussion before about Gears games, but yes,
I've got
the
no
good
doubt
one
in my
too.
mind that this will sell gangbusters on PlayStation.
But it's also too. But also too, I feel like they put it on PlayStation. I thought, oh, it feels weird, but at the same time, I feel like a lot of Xbox people have moved on to PS5 or PlayStation, because for the reason being, for 10 to 15 years, lack of first-party games.
Yeah.
So they probably moved on and gone, hey, here's Spider-Man, Uncharted, God of War, all these other games that come out on PlayStation. What does Xbox have back then? Gears, Halo, and Forza. That was it.
Yeah.
And people probably get a bit bored and going,
and Fable for a while.
And Fable for a bit. But other than that, there was just, let's be honest, you get the same games on PlayStation.
Yeah. It's a weird one. Like, yeah, my initial thought was, why aren't they putting out like 1, 2, 3 together, maybe even tossing in Judgment, which was the 360 one. Sorry, that other like this 360
Prequel,
spin-off
yeah.
one. But like, as I thought about it, like this game is going to sell gangbusters. I've got no doubt about it. You've got the PlayStation fans who've never bought an Xbox that have known about Gears. You know, they don't. PlayStation fans don't mind a cover-based shooter. They've had Uncharted for years.
And then they get to play an actual shooter that something PlayStation hasn't had
Oh yeah, sorry, right.
for a while.
Yeah,
For a while. Like I would say since what? Resistance? Killzone?
yeah.
Around that time?
Resistance
Don't really see
3,
many shooters.
Killzone, Shadowfall was kind of the last, which was a launch title for the PS4. Sorry, 2013.
That's a long time
It's a
ago.
long time. Because then the most recent first-person shooter we've had was Concord, and that lasted
Yeah, that went well.
less time than a carrot.
Yes, that's correct.
So, yeah, this is going to do like really, really well for them. But I think as a result, they can be like, well, why would we do that? So for a little bit of context for anyone who's unaware, if you already own Gears Ultimate Edition, you get the free upgrade to Reloaded straight out the gate. So for all the Xbox people who are remaining on Xbox, they've got their Game Pass up, whatever,
Free for you.
You're set. Awesome. That's a big, massive win. But then they're going to sell to a much bigger audience here on PlayStation. And they're going to sell it at, what was it? $40 is US dollars, $40 a rip. So that's probably going to be 70 to maybe 70 for us.
Bargain.
I don't know if I don't know if EB or someone has actually got a physical version, or maybe it's just all digital. I'll have a quick look.
Surely it'd be a hard copy.
Reloaded.
Surely.
No, there's nothing
upset.
there's nothing listed yet anyway. But you know, what I presume is going to be about 60, 70 bucks Aussie dollars. You're going to sell that to, I don't know, 5 million at least, I would have thought. That's huge. And then you can go and do that again for Gears 2, do that again for Gears 3. You're making your Xbox audience happy because they're just getting it for nothing. You're selling it to PC, you're selling it to PlayStation, you're possibly going to get to sell it to Switch audiences, and you make money hand over fist. I think this is a huge, huge opportunity for Xbox that I wasn't necessarily considering even as we first started recording, but I think this could print money for them. So I guess good on them in that sense. And there's recent data that have come out from both America and Europe for PSN sales for the last month, and the top 3 games were all Xbox published. Forza, Indy, and Minecraft, because it's it's Minecraft in part, but also it's surging because of the movie. So there's a lot of data that shows that just Microsoft stuff at the moment, it's just dominating the Xbox charts. And keep in mind, Sea of Thieves was up on the list for ages when it first launched.
Oh
yes. They're crushing it. So
the one way they become
why would you rush it?
more, the only way they became more dominant was to go onto another console, a more popular console.
Pretty much.
Good work, Don. This is your fault.
Yeah, we can blame Don Matrick for everything, really. If Xbox fans don't like it, you can blame Don Matrick. He killed your Xbox One, and then
one of the stupidest things possibly the stupidest thing you could ever say is if you want to play old games, it's called Xbox 360. You just go, you fool.
It was the
As
worst
said,
generation to lose.
Many times before, idiot.
Yeah. So I wouldn't rule out the possibility that, next year, I feel like at this point, it's unlikely that they're going to launch this in August and then Gears of War E-Day in October or November or something, but it's possible.
They might now.
They might. But E-Day...
Consider there's another game coming out next year.
Which we'll talk about shortly, yeah. I don't know, I feel like E-Day is probably a 2026 game, most likely, but...
Early.
Yeah. Yeah, either really early or very late.
Late.
Just to keep out of the GTA vortex. But, they've got that. And then they could just, depending on... Because this is being developed not internally. This was with Sumo Digital. So Sumo could just go off and keep churning these things out. We could see them coming out annually or something like that. Gradually, one by one, PlayStation audiences catch up. The Xbox fans get to continue to enjoy these amazing kind of remakes or remasters. And then the new one... drops in an E-Day, and then maybe they finally go, okay, it's time to suck it up and let's go back to Gears of War 6 now and actually deal with the problem that we created for ourselves with the ending of Gears of War 5.
Idiot.
They might well make it work. This
Good luck.
remaster Reloaded comes with all the multiplayer stuff, so they can get a really intense sort of multiplayer community going around. Well, this one obviously won't have horde mode, but eventually they're going to do. Presumably they're going to do Gears 2 Reloaded at some point, or remastered, whatever they do with it. And when horde mode drops for PlayStation, that could be huge as well. So I think this is a pretty cool thing that they're doing here, and obviously, yeah, all the success they're already having with the likes of Forza and Indie shows that it's worth sticking with. But here's I guess some of the little key details for you. So, regardless of where you play, 4K resolution, 60 FPS in campaign, 120 FPS in multiplayer. It's got HDR, it's got all the audio stuff, VRR, 4K assets. Everything's been remastered. Post-processing visuals, improved shadows, super resolution with anti-aliasing, 0 loading screens during the campaign. Like, they've gone and ticked all the boxes that you'd want to see.
No loading times.
And I do like that they've kind of got that.
Where's Mark Steedy when you need him? Talk about his AI scaling.
I do like that they've got the 60 FPS campaign, 120 multiplayer, like you can dial it up. But none of this also talks about what's possible if you're maybe playing on the PS5 Pro. Maybe the PS5 Pro even allows you to go to 120 during the campaign. So I think the way they've marketed this or presented this, it looks like it's this is just the base level stuff. If you've got the source on PC or if you've got a PS5 Pro, then maybe you can push it further. But that's like here's our standard. And if anyone didn't buy the Gears of War Ultimate Edition before May 5th, well, you're shit out of luck. You're gonna have to go buy it. Apparently, anyone who buys it after that will miss out on the code for Gears of War Reloaded that will be delivered prior to launch of the game via direct message to eligible Xbox accounts.
I'll better check my account then.
Yeah, you should get a free copy of it on Xbox when the time comes. Any other thoughts on Gears, though?
No. It's just, it feels weird, but at the same time, times have changed.
Yeah.
I think Xbox has got a new plan, which is, sell where they can, when they can. I was also thinking, too, maybe they can put all their other past Xbox first-party games on PlayStation, and I realised there's not that many.
Yeah.
Bugger all.
So, in your mind now, as we maybe put a bow on this, is there any Xbox franchise now that you expect will never make its way to PlayStation? Or is it just all on the table now?
Never. Yeah. Probably Perfect Dark Zero. Because
no one wants Perfect Dark Zero, that's fine.
Or how about Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts?
That's probably safe. But maybe one day we could also get Game Pass. One day we could get Game Pass on there, and if that's the case, then suddenly that's a different story, but
I would probably say Fable's safe at the moment.
As in the new one?
The new one, the old ones.
I've heard rumours that game has cost an absolute shit ton. So,
maybe go to the PS5 then.
Yeah, I feel like to make your money, you might need to go to play. Well, I think it'll go to PlayStation. It's more a case of, is it there day and date, or does it take a little while? So, I feel like it's probably 6 months. But
maybe Redfall will go over.
Yeah, I think that's probably in the same as the Banjo Nuts and Bolts thing, right? No one really wants that.
Possibly.
Redfall.
I was going to say Hi-Fi Rush. Then I realised that's already done.
And that's good. So we're okay with having that. And it was a Bethesda job, so that's a bit different. Starfield is only a matter of time now. I feel like that one's got to drop sometime this year still. But yeah, Halo will come across soon. I feel like that's almost a sure thing at this point. That's the question for that is, are we getting the Master Chief Collection, or are we getting it drip fed again like Gears?
Oh, what about Psychonauts 2?
That's already there.
Was it?
Yeah, that was an agreement in place because it had already been. I think Psychonauts 2 was crowdfunded.
Right.
And that was before the acquisition, so it was crowdfunded going to PlayStation, so it always had to come across. The weird thing about that was, and I don't know if it's since changed, but there was only, even though it launched on, like, PS5 was out by the time the game came out, it only launched with a PS4 SKU. There was no native PS5 version, so it was missing some of the real perks of the newer console because they just didn't put out a PS5 version. Maybe one day we'll get that. I might even just check PSN profiles and see if there's a version.
I'd probably say Fusion Frenzy is probably safe.
Did you just go and Google like obscure Xbox
No, I
franchise.
just remembered it then. I'll just have a look now. See Minecraft Starfield. You know,
Yeah, there's still
they-
no
Crackdown,
PS5 version of.
Crackdown,
Yeah,
Crackdown's
probably
probably
not.
safe on
That's probably safe.
Xbox, especially 3.
Any of the big stuff, any of the good stuff, I reckon it's all on the table now. But yeah, no native version, no native PS5 version, sorry, of Psychonauts 2 on PlayStation. Yeah, Fable will be interesting whether it's day and date, but yeah, I think Halo's a sure thing now. Now that this has happened, now that Forza's happened, Halo's the big one. It's only a matter of time. I can't think of it. Like if people want it, if people want a certain game, then I think they'll get it at this point. It's just a matter of how soon does it happen. And I, for one, like I really want to see Rare Replay because I would. You mentioned nuts and bolts, but I would kill to have
Battle
Banjo.
Banjo.
Give me Banjo 1 and 2 on PlayStation, and I start rattling up those trophies. It's gonna be awesome.
And enjoy the terrible controls of Jet Force Gemini.
Oof. All right, let's talk games that won't probably have horrible controls. GTA 6, which obviously we had an episode about last week, and we kind of spoke a little bit about the May 26, 2026 release date. But now, I think about was it in the hours before the? Or was maybe the next morning after our episode went up? I think it was the next morning after our episode went up.
The next morning. Yes.
Then they dropped a trailer. Yeah, that's right. It was like the dead of night Wednesday morning. They dropped a trailer. What'd you make of this one? There's probably not as much to say about it because it doesn't necessarily reveal a huge amount. But what did you think of GTA 6's new trailer?
It looks nice. That's about it. I thought, oh yeah, cool. They've just given us a little backstory of the characters, of the 2 characters that are in there. But other than that, it's just like the same as what they showed in the first trailer of GTA 6. It's just, hey, look at this building, or look at these people, or look at this car. And just gets all those casual gamers excited. Go, oh my god, it looks great. I'm thinking, there are better games out there, people. I heard one guy say, oh, GTA 6 is going to ruin the game industry. I think, no, it's not. It's only for casual gamers. Have they ever heard of a game called Clay Obscure Expedition 33? That game has overachieved like nothing. That's quite funny.
What's their latest update? Have they sold 4 million yet?
2 million. I found out the other day, I don't know if it's true or not, that they found their sound composer, their music composer, on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
Out of all places.
And their writer they got from Reddit.
And there was another writer as well who auditioned for a voice actor and didn't get it, so then they became a writer. Insane. Does it give sales? What's the sales?
Looking for an update, but they are just sharing fan art constantly. So.
Oh no.
Oh no, but
is it just a picture of Robert Pattinson's head?
So there was an update. I think we spoke about it on May 7th. That's 2 million sold. No Robert Pattinsons yet that I've seen. They've then announced that they've put the soundtrack is officially out there.
It's on Spotify.
It's on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Apple iTunes, all those.
And it hit number 1 in the classical music charts.
Yes, 13 on the official soundtrack album chart and 31 on the official album download chart. Good on them. Over 18 million streams since launch, which was
8 hours of quality music.
8 hours.
It's 8 hours.
I want to avoid it just because I want to hear all the music in game first.
It's actually better. I will confirm it's much better in the game than it is on when you're driving in a car.
Glad to hear it. Doesn't look like there's been any official updates since for sales. Yeah,
so more than Star Wars Outlaws.
But yeah, it's doing better than Star Wars Outlaws. All right. Yeah, I mean, on the GTA side, I think the thing for me that's most interesting is that they've confirmed they had to reach out, like on socials afterwards and clarify it was captured entirely in game from a PS5. People have been speculating this was CGI.
Everything's CGI.
No, people have been speculating it was CGI. This was all captured though on, like, in-engine or in-game on the PS5. So there's no CGI at all. And they said it was equal parts gameplay and cutscenes. Obviously, when they say gameplay, and people get a bit carried away with that because it doesn't look like you don't see a HUD, you don't see those sort of things. It's obviously like it's the way it looks in gameplay, but they can still get their little dev camera and swing it around to get you the shots that you would never be able to get as a player. But they stage the thing, they get it, and then they swing the camera around. They script it so it does a certain thing, and then they swing the camera around to maybe get a more cinematic look at it. But the way that game looked in the trailer, that is the way it's going to look in game, which is crazy.
I feel like these people are like, oh, it's CGI, are the people who haven't played a game since, I don't know, 2013. Which is when
it does look outrageously good. Like
it does.
Well,
don't get me wrong, it looks good. I hope it's not a Watchdog situation. That's all I'm saying. I know it won't. I hope it's not.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine if this ends up being bad?
It is the Fry Festival of games.
It'll still sell, 70 million copies, but can you imagine if it's bad?
I reckon it'll probably be those, those old, very early screenshots we saw that got leaked.
Yeah,
that's the actual game.
Oh, did you only see the screenshots? I saw all that gameplay that came out.
I showed this gameplay. It's like all grayed out. It was all like grayscale and all this. It wasn't textured properly and all that. People get upset because
the game looks like shit.
Yeah, you clearly don't know how to make how games are made.
Don't know how a video game works.
It is just like how ice cream's made. It doesn't come in a tub. It actually there is a process to it. You clowns.
Yeah, I like that you just compare the development of GTA to how ice cream's produced, but
it's probably a bit different too. It's probably a bit more complex.
Slightly.
Ice cream I'm talking about. Slightly. But yeah, I think I just looked at it and thought, oh, is this real? Just felt like that's what I felt like because I know visuals these days have gotten. Let's be honest, they've gotten better.
Yeah,
I know that's surprising to say they have gotten better compared to 12 years ago when GTA last came out. Everything looks more realistic.
I mean, GTA 3 still looks pretty. Sorry, GTA 5 still looks pretty solid as well, and that's been 13 years.
Oh, it's crazy. It is insane. Like
Red Dead Redemption 2 is still one of the best looking games out there, and it's a generation old now.
Yeah, people complain like, oh, in a 12-year span, like, I don't know how many GTA games they made, like from 1 to 5. It was like 7 or 8. I don't know the exact number, but times have changed. Well, we can go through them all. 1, 2. There was the London one there. 3. Vice City. San Andreas. The DS one. The Tokyo Wars. Chinatown Wars. There was another one on DS. Probably one on PSP. Your DLC from 4. 5.
Yeah, I just want to get the release dates. So yeah, between 1990. So hang on, we're talking about. It'll be 13 years between 5 and 6. So between 1997 and 2010, then I guess we're talking about to get the equivalent amount of time.
GTA 5,
so that would be GTA, Grand Theft Auto London 1969, Grand Theft Auto London 1961, GTA 2, GTA 3, Vice City, San Andreas. There's Grand Theft Auto Advance. I didn't realize there was a.
Yes, that's Game Boy Advance.
Game Boy Advance. Liberty City Stories, Vice City Stories 4, Lost in the Dam, Chinatown Wars, and Ballad of Gay Tony. Then you hit 2010. And since that point, GTA 5 and 6.
Well, let's be honest. They probably made more money out of those two games than probably the other.
Oh, everything else, yeah.
7 or 8 combined, but
GTA 5 alone will, match the sale. Or sorry, match the financial success of all of the other games.
It's going to be like Black Friday when it comes out, I feel like. It's just people are going to punch on over a game. Not a blanket or some cheap, doona, pillow, appliance.
This will be the one where you see the midnight launch again. The long dead midnight launch. It'll be back.
I imagine. People go out to get physical copies.
I'd almost queue up for it, just for
the sake of it.
Just for the experience again.
Just to feel 15 again. So, I remember this.
I wish I could. Midnight launches when I was 15.
I remember being in line for a game. I mean, retailers would be like, "Oh man."
I've done midnight launches for consoles. Couldn't obviously do it for PS5 and Series X because that was during the pandemic. But what did I do? Did I midnight launch for the Switch? I don't think I did it for the Switch.
Was it still a thing back then?
Yeah, I reckon
When
it
did
still, I
Midnight
reckon it
launches
still would have
drop?
been, but maybe you weren't getting that for Nintendo consoles though. But definitely did it for the Xbox One and the PS4. And then there was a few games along the way, the Assassin's Creeds and some Uncharted's and those sort of things. I remember God of War 3, Uncharted 3 I went to, but that's all now going back to like 2011, 2010,
2009.
2011. That's going a long way back now. So The Last of Us, did that. Good times. We'll do it again. Oh, and I think I conveniently, what? Didn't. I think the other one that I did was, I think actually the most recent would have been Mario Odyssey, because didn't it come out the same day as Red Dead? Or no? When did? Oh shit!
Red Dead came out in 2018.
When did
I feel
Mario?
like
Mario yeah. So
Odyssey
what did
was
I
like
pick up?
earlier.
There was something else at the same time as Mario Odyssey release date. There was something else that kind of came out at the same time, but it worked out that was like the midway through PAX that year. So it had been a late night on the Thursday for some media event or whatever, and then I just cruised through on my way back home through Melton to go pick up my Mario Odyssey pre-order on the way home, and just rocked up for the midnight launch because why the fuck not? It was like 11:30 at that night. I may as well stick around for another half hour and grab my game. I can't find any other games that came out the same date.
Off the Switch or Red Dead.
There was Assassin's Creed Origins came out that day as well, which would have been the one I was really hanging out for.
I would have been disappointed.
Oh, and Wolfenstein, yeah. So it came out the same day as Wolfenstein 2, Mario Odyssey, and
yuck.
Assassin's Creed Origins.
Wolfenstein 2. Ugh.
Yeah, people adore that, but I just couldn't get into the second one. Love the first game. The first of the recent ones.
Yeah. I can't remember what it was called.
The New Order.
The New Order.
And then there was the Old Blood, which was the expansion. I didn't love the Old Blood. And then Wolfenstein 2 I didn't love either. Maybe it's just the right place and time when I played New Order as opposed to being in the wrong time and place for the others. But anyway, GTA. I don't know. It looks fantastic. There's not a lot really more that we can add from what we said last week. But did you have any thoughts on it at all?
I thought to myself, yeah, it looks cool, but guess what? I still don't care.
We got 12 months.
For 12 months, I've got other games to play still.
Clear Obscure.
No, not for me anymore. I've finished that.
I've got to do that. And I've got to get back to Monster Hunter. God. Doom. The reviews are out. Go play it, people.
I have to wait till May 15.
Is that? Oh, yeah, okay.
Well, I've loaded it onto my Xbox. It just keeps telling me coming soon. I was like, stop telling me it's coming soon.
Is the 15th the early...
Well, that was what Wikipedia said.
Is that the
Wikipedia
early access release date for premium people, or is that...
That's worldwide. I think the 12th is premium.
Okay.
Worldwide release is 15th, I believe.
May 15.
I'm surprised
Yeah,
Xbox hasn't put their little map up of times it gets released. Then I remembered it's Xbox, and they don't market things well at all, as we know, except for Gears of War.
Midnight May 13th, so you get 2 days early access for Doom.
I'm not paying shit for that. Hey, pay an extra $20 to play it early. I'll wait 2 days, thanks.
Yeah. All right, well, I think on that note, we'll wrap things up because we've gone on to Mario Odyssey, Assassin's Creed, Wolfenstein, Doom, all sorts of things except GTA. But yeah, big week in games along the way. We also learnt that Death Stranding 2 is set largely in Australia. And the Bungie spin-off team, the one that was working on that codename Gummy Bears game, has now announced themselves as a studio with an even more ridiculous name, Studio LFG, which could be Let's Fucking Go. It could be Looking For Group, as they claim it to be. I think it's the former. Let's Fucking Go. But anyway.
Or
Strange week.
Let's find Goon. That's another one.
That's fine. All right. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. All the buttons down below. Hit the notification bell. That way you're alerted to every new video the moment it goes live on the channel. That includes Patched, there's Let's Plays, and a whole lot more. Visit the website, player2.net.au, for reviews, previews, opinion pieces, news, features, links to the podcast series, Patched, the Player 2 Pixelcast, and Dev Diary. We're on Patreon, patreon.com/player2au, kicking a few bucks. Lower tiers, early access. Higher tiers, monthly episode exclusives. And finally, there's socials. Matto.
Phil.
Paul, James Games, myself. The website is player2au. And until next time, thanks a lot for watching. I don't know. Go play Gears on PlayStation. Stick it right up him. Cliffy B loves it.